Hello, 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 I am Ringru.
And I'm Graham.
Hey Dave, another 1v1 from Wargame Bootcamp Discord Elite Tournament. We are in Hell, in a very small place, and who is helling it out today?
Is Helen out like a party ranger?
Hell yeah.
They're helling it out? Okay, it's a party. It sounds like a really hot, rave. But anyways, to get out back on topic, on the left in the blue, we have Tortique playing as Commonwealth mech, which is the only reason this game was picked. And then on the right, we have Direktor making another appearance, and he's playing as Scandinavia General.
You telling me I pick replays based on national bias?
Oh, totally. This is 100%. It's not because of the players. It's not because of the map. You have no idea how the game goes. You picked this because you saw someone was bold enough to take out Commonwealth for the Challenger Commando spam.
Look, I just respect someone who's taken the meta back to 2017, where Commonwealth was king. Because it's fun to see him. Because it's not a terrible, like, national...
No, I don't think they're a bad deck.
What's a coalition pick? But it's just been overwhelmed by just how everything else is going so much better.
Are you telling me that because of DLC policies, because of Eugen, that it's power crept and left the Commonwealth behind?
I think the times may have left him behind, yes.
Right.
Can keep up.
Instead of playing Commonwealth, people want to play Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Or Entente mech, the real mech game.
Moto.
Yes, we did. I mean, we saw that last week, and it didn't work out well.
No, it didn't.
So hopefully, for your sake, these Challenger ones out here can actually perform and carry the Commonwealth to victory here against Scandinavia in the Foxumjager.
Yeah, because we're seeing a very heavy push into Goldfield, which you don't actually see all that often on this map, especially from his side, because it's very much a risky grind. But he's playing mech, so he wants the grind.
Yeah, and I love how it's just Fusilier spam. Well, not Fusilier, it's Territorial spam. But then you have the 2-stack of Fusilier 90s, the heavy hitters right there with the Challengers, a Centurion, Avre, which we don't see. I mean, this might be the first time we've casted one.
It is, yeah, it's ghetto as hell. Like, this is some, 70s British Reserve shit.
Oh, I mean, in theory, though, you get the FV, you send the FVs forward, they get the air, get the Eric shots to kind of come out, and then Centurion just rolls up and just drops that, 165mm HE round right into their face.
Yeah, and the Fauci are going to be in a very good defensive position. It feels like he lost a little bit of surprise here, because now he knows that there's a massive attack coming, even those M41 Bulldogs are in a pretty good position.
Yeah.
On the Vickers Mark 11, there we go. Like,
yeah, we got full Commonwealth action going on right now. But yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like the smoke while he used it there to screen his push in that with our Godovich, we know it's only M41As, A1, so it's not like a huge threat. Obviously, we're big fans of the tank, but, it ain't sniping the Challengers.
No. The Centurion has got a good eye on to the Fauci tank.
He did take an Eric's to the face, though, yeah.
Yeah.
Now you find one more time right there. Big stun right there, actually forcing the push, kind of like the fallback into the town right there. What is it, artillery? Oh, a beacon already brought out by Direktor. Very early beacon. He must be feeling pretty good to buy it that early. I mean, if you're gonna buy a heavy artillery piece, might as well buy it early. But down south ring, a lot of action here as Direktor sending the Nordslandjäger and Dragoneers into Bravo point as the Territorials and some SAS try and hold them off.
Yeah, and this is a sexy push from him. The automatic and M1 fire support vehicles going through the forest here. He is blapping. I'm really surprised he's going for territorial spam because they're not reservish. They do not get a good transport, the free frontal armor. So it's a bit weird because you do really just go more for the regular Fusilier spam. Especially considering you can just spend an extra 5 points and get the bloody ones with the lower 80s.
Yeah, I would say I agree with you because you can get so many Fusiliers in the deck. It kind of makes Territorials null and void because altogether it's, 10 points, whereas for 15 points you can just bring Fusiliers and get an LMG.
Yeah, or Commando 90s as well. You have such better... He needs more substantial infantry rather than trying to pretend he's Eurocore.
Well, the Territorials decided if they were going to cosplay as reservists, they obviously didn't have AMX-13, so they're just using what they have.
Yeah. They even have the better self-loading rifle when they get buggered.
And I'll say up in the north, the push is completely falling apart here. The Vickers and the Challengers way up along the road, like they're about to bug out. You know, it's not tea time right there. As these Fallschirmjäger start taking positions along the road, which is just disgusting because they will completely cut off that reinforcement road with their Ericses, forcing a grind way further out than Tortique is going to want to deal with. And this Puff's been up here nonstop. The Beacon shifting over the Bravo. It was actually a nice push catching the SAS in the forest like that by the Nordjäger, getting the SAS in an environment that really doesn't suit them. Though the Commando's 90 being brought in here should stabilize this position.
Yeah,
hold it for sure? I don't know, but it will stabilize it.
Yeah, I think this Bootcamp is honestly a fantastic buy, especially against mech, where it is just going to become a grindy hellhole. And as you see, just the automatic nature of it is brutal. And if he can keep fighting these forest fights, yeah, heavy artillery firepower is really going to give him that necessary edge.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's against a mechanized player, if you're going to call out something like this, it is best to do it early so you can start accruing value against those infantry units and keep that, you know, kind of like infantry ball from getting too big, right? And we see it here. He's grinded out pretty well. The one thing I would say is that a lot of times when players accept the grind against the mechanized player and they don't use the heavy specialized units to their advantage, they end up kind of running out of stuff at about the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, you have to use the technological advantage you do have against mech to win the mech grind. Otherwise, you're just playing right into their hand.
Yeah, because he can trade territorials all day. It may not look pretty, may lose the Katie at the end of the day, but if you decide, like, we're going to fight an infantry grind battle against each other, it's going to get nasty. But I just love how aggressive Direktor is on this map here. Taking these Fallschirmjäger right there, getting their Ericsons, picking off a mortar. You know, and that's not necessarily a huge deal. It's 30 points, but he's being annoying. He's getting in the back line and creating havoc way earlier than Tortique wants to deal with it.
Yeah, because all these territorials now having to unload early and slowly make your way up into Foxtrot to deal with just a few Fallschirmjägers, which is also going to give Direktor more time. He has a good chance of getting into go apart from the
with the Block 15 diving in here, the Rapier's trying to engage it, and they will get the kill, and a complete miss there by the Rock Eyes. The Centurion average are going to live. And even here, like, he sees the Fallschirmjäger right there, and that big H... Oh, no, he just anticipates it. They were there earlier.
They were there originally.
Yeah, so good anticipation, but now that Eric's is kind of firing out. Oh, but a nice pushback, getting behind the forest line. Then he'll see exactly where they are here because the FEs. And he's going to force a fallback here as the territorials go over the top like it's World War I right now on this hill.
Yeah, they blew the ritual, they got the bayonets ready. And I see, in this defensive position, these Fallschirmjägers should be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, they honestly might kill all four.
Yeah.
Four spots without any, like, real loss. Oh, yeah, they just annihilated one of them. Didn't lose a single man. The Vickers could make the difference here because the LMG is engaging right now. Yeah, he has a microed the LMG off here, so the Vickers will get in here. But the Erics is going to fire back. And, I mean, 3 HE is nice, but the Erics is going to shred light vehicles like that.
Yeah, they're just not going to have a good time.
Oh, the Challengers. Oh, they're still alive.
Yeah, they managed to...
I don't know how they're still alive. Ooh, a Stormer now being called out by Tortique, which isn't a bad, not a bad pick. You know, the Scout Defender is going to kind of just go full Walter White from your YouTube channel on the side there. He's not going to kill those Challenger ones. But the golf push has not worked out. Good AA micro, though, by Tortique, keeping the radars off there, because this Puff has basically been on station the whole game so far.
Yeah, you really cannot afford to bugger about with your radar against Scandinavia, because as we've seen, Puff the Magic Dragon, even against helicopters, can blow stuff up. It's pretty much like the second best seed plane behind the Su-25.
Oh yeah, for price, it's great. Absolutely fantastic for its price. One thing I would say that's interesting is Direktor, by taking this Bravo fight, which I would not have expected. Bravo, especially going against a mechanized player, I would have probably opted somewhere else. Just because, like, why would I go fight in probably the most heavily mech-favored area against the mech player? But it's clear Tortique didn't expect to push there, and Direktor's gotten him completely off guard. Kushjäger in the town, Fallschirmjäger in the forest. I mean, the automatics back there, it could go to town if it really wanted to. And the Beacon has just accrued to so much value. I think this has really put Tortique on the back foot. I really don't think he expected to be fighting tooth and nail here, Rang.
Yeah, and you've seen he's actually invested in some artillery of his own, a whole battery of the rather puny M108, which he really
Wait, yeah.
don't see often, but I don't know, 40 points for 105 millimeters? I don't think it's terrible, though. He has to get kind of close to bloody hitting, I think.
No, it's not a terrible unit. I've seen it used a couple times, only in team games though. I've never encountered it in a 1v1. I mean, I guess you're using what you got, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for 40, was that 40 points apiece?
Yeah, so it's like a heavy mortar cost.
Do you think it was really worth the cost for that many of it? You know, I don't know. Like, it's because there's 4 of it. I feel like maybe playing a bomber would have been better.
Yeah, maybe some more shock infantry to actually contest. Because he already has Centauri and Avars. And he's actually been using them quite effectively. Now they're going to get counter-batteried. He hasn't moved. And
yeah, and the Beacan's going to shred them. Yeah, he doesn't move them at all. Oh my god, the Beacan getting direct shots right on top of it. One going down already. The other one's trying to evacuate the dance floor here. He might be, but the fire rate is so fast on the Beacan, keeping them pinned in right there.
Good God.
Oh, direct hit right there. Multiple down to 1 HP. Oh,
what is there with the Scandinavians just utilizing so many
Oh
heavy
my
caliber
God.
guns so fast? Go God!
Yeah, that was a massacre right there. He, something interesting as well about Tortique bringing out that artillery Rangoon is he doesn't have a fob. So a lot of times mech players, that's wild, not having a fob, but mech players that bring artillery typically bring their fobs.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he's trying to utilize those things as, what's it called, heavy mortars. But he does have 2 mortar cards, which, for a mech player, is quite actually a heavy amount of artillery investment. He was got the FEs.
I kind of get the vibe he didn't know what to spend points on.
Yeah, with Commonwealth mech, there's only so much you can do. Especially when it gets like one of the more like reader coalitions. You just kind of get to like the 50-point mark out of 55. It's like bugger. What do I
But
buy
he
now?
didn't fill out his air tab.
It's true.
I mean, there's a lot. That one thing you can say about Commonwealth mech is it does have some great infantry. I mean, Commando's 90s are one of the best per price units, infantry units in the game. You get a good tank tab for mech. I mean, the fact that you get Challengers, you get Leopard 2s. The Chieftain, I think, is actually a really underrated tank in the game. Chieftain, the 65 pointer gets a 4 HE.
Yeah.
Which is really nice for a lot of NATO nations. The vehicle tab isn't bad. Obviously, the helicopter tab is mega garbo. But the air tab's good. It's got a very good air tab.
Yeah, you got like a lot of decent stuff, especially a lot of the Canadian F-18s are very cost effective, the cluster run and the fighter run.
Yeah, and then you also, obviously there's, no one's bringing really, I'm expecting to bring the Typhoon, but, and I honestly think you would need it, but you get the support tab, you get Stormers and the Rapiers, both, I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Rapier. It's not, the sexiest thing in the world, but for 55 points, and you bring 2 of them, they will typically kill a plane, as we saw.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And now it really seems that Tortique just doesn't really know what to do. He's trying to get a CV onto Foxtrot, but the bloody, the Chinook C-48 is just dicking him, actually forcing him back, which, it's going to get shot down, but it brought him time of forcing that CV back, and all the counter battery on the tracked Rapier is getting some good hits. This Bacan can get some shots off.
He really can do it. Or I messed that up.
That's fine.
I was trying, but you messed up, and that caused me to mess up. So really, it was your fault.
Don't blame me for your mess ups.
No, it was your fault. I was following your lead, and you messed up, so therefore I messed up.
I disavow that statement.
Well, I think it's true. And I'm American, so I win. Now, the biggest thing that's I think is really hurting Tortique is he does not have an answer for the Beatcan, and he does not have an answer for the Fallschirmjäger. Like those two in combination have annihilated so much of what he's wanted to do, and it's why I'm a huge supporter. If it has an Eric's, it's almost always worth bringing. Like it creates a dynamic that is so hard to deal with, even for some of the best players at times. It makes pushing, especially with any armor support, really difficult. And let's look to Bravo now, as his Commander 90 is going to try and get in here. He's the 15-man squad, basically being able to go toe-to-toe here with the 2 squads of the Commander 90 because they are in a building entrenched, pushing them back right there. And then, the Beacon. Oh yeah, Beacon's already noticed. Wow, Direktor is on top of his mini-map game. He's recognizing pushes really quickly and getting fire support to where it's needed. I mean, the command is dip, but very impressive, Rank.
Yeah, he is just doing a great job of pretty much, holding his position long enough for the heavy artillery to come on down. Because he has his forces pretty spread out. All these Fallschirmjägers Most of his troops are in single squads. He's not concentrated them anywhere. But just the technological flying superiority is getting him these dubs. Oh, puffed.
He got puffed out of existence.
Yeah.
Well, Challenger 1 right there down the low ground trying to help push back. Another Challenger 1 being brought up. Now, that is one thing that I think as a mech deck we kind of underrate, is the Challenger 1 for 105 points does get 19 frontal armor.
Yep.
Like she's a thick girl.
Yeah, and it has decent AP. The 4 HC is pretty big, because it's really only the British 120 mils get the, and as well as the Wargame, get 4 HE, which allows you to route out infantry quite a bit more effectively. But he just has not been able, really, most of his mech to get his challengers into good positions. I mean, up north they did a little cavalry charge and couldn't really position himself properly. Now it seems a problem down south, where there's always Fallschirmjägers, but you can't bloody see or get eyes on.
Yeah, I think that's what really is hurting the challengers in action here, is that the infantry in front of them hasn't been of good quality, and we saw that the territorials got absolutely annihilated. Just they weren't worth bringing out, and it's for the principal reason, you know, I think like you said, he tried to copy what Eurocorps does, but the problem is that without the AMX 13, the reservists would be worthless. You wouldn't bring them. So if you're bringing territorials out, there's just no point. You might as well just bring Fusiliers. Yeah, at least then you have the LMG.
Yeah, and even the bloody FV doesn't have a 50 cal. Like it's
it's
Garbo.
Yeah, it's Mega Garbo. It has that. Was it like some brand copy? I don't know.
No, it has the M240 or something.
M240.
GPMG.
Whatever it is, it's not worth it, and it ain't no 50 cal, and it ain't no 3 frontal armor.
No, it's not. And now we've just seen Tortique has kind of been pulled in between Foxtrot and Bravo now. He has a decent force here, but he's pretty much just been pinned down by his goddamn backhand, just constantly barraging him.
Yeah, it's been non-stop. If he had 2 of them, you know, I think he could be creating all kinds of damage. He does obviously have 2 in his deck, but he might as well bring the second one out, which I've never said, I think, in a 1v1. It's almost never worth it, but he would get the value out of it. And I think he's just really showcased how to fight mech. Like, he's been up front with it, and he hasn't even used anything like super fancy, but what he has used is some of the best qualities of his deck, and that's, you know, the infantry, the Nordlandjäger, Fallschirmjäger, Kussjäger, the Beacon, Puff the Magic Dragon, heavy IFEs in terms of the SCRFs. Also, I mean, even his M41As did some good work.
Yeah, and we're seeing the commandos now down south making an aggressive charge. Going to be able to take some territory, but for heavy casualties, we've got more commandos flanking about here. Here he's going for the deep flank. I thought he would maybe try to wrap it up into Bravo. He could actually kill the automatic, but he's just going to go patrolling in the forest, and a command squad being brought into Bravo in a rather sneaky location. A bit close to the front line, but an unexpected spot, and he needs that because he's been losing by the +2 this entire time.
Yeah, on this map, the point total that Direktor has is 9 out of 10 times fatal. So he has to do something, because it's very hard to get a significant amount of points once the players are set up in their positions. You know, this map, I think a lot of times when we cast it, you have really hot action for about 5 minutes, and then it turns into just mega skirmish mode all over the place. And to be real, it's kind of happened like that. We haven't seen any really big engagements in a while. Just a lot of, you know, a little bit of fighting here, some B-can shots here to ruin some poor British dude's day. And so now he's going to have a hard time, Tortique is, in trying to claw back some points.
Yeah. He's just trying to soften up a lot of these Fallschirmjägers, and it's just impressive how bloody annoying those Fallschirmjägers have been, or not even the G11 runs. Who needs G11s? We need bloody Eric's.
No, it's because they have the French bias weapon.
They do.
When's the Eric's coming to Warno?
DLC most likely.
The same DLC with the Leclerc?
Yes. So I put the Eric's on top of the Leclerc.
Damn.
Yeah, there was like some weird prototype in like the 80s with French tried to experiment with, Isn't some sort of like military document.
Oh, I thought you were being real with me for a second.
No,
you were just trolling.
Why'd I do that to you?
You're just acting like Mad Matt in 6 months.
You'll wait for the dev blogs.
Yeah, well, I can't wait. I'm excited. Which Marshal will it be though? Because they're running out of them.
I know, maybe I have to go to like the British ones, but I don't think I'd want to do that.
The British ones. You think he's gonna go to the Duke of Wellington?
I know.
Hell nah. That would be a crime. They'd send him right back to the Bastille.
Yes.
Well, we do see the challengers here. Oh, that one was reversing. He was going crazy. He's, Tortique trying to reinforce Bravo. The RBSs are on the road. STRVs on the road. These poor command. Oh my God, just getting gunned down in the M113s. Now they're caught out in the open here by the Bofors 40 mil. It's a massacre for these poor Australians.
Such a deadly combo. Like the STRV, fantastic against mech. It's like the anti-mech tank. The SDRFs with the RBS support is like the combo card. We've seen it used before in 1v1s. It's deadly because that 40 mil provides so much fire support. And if you run into a tank, well, the RBS just blaps the tank. And it's a 5-man team, so it's tanky against tanks for an infantry anti-tank team.
It was very tanky. Very thick. I'm just curious, I don't know what Tortique's plan is here. Because it seems like he's, like you talked about a couple minutes ago, he's kind of hit a wall, and he's just being pulled back and forth in two separate directions. I think he just needs to take the mass here and just fling it somewhere and hope it creates a breakthrough that allows him to stabilize.
I think its best bet is just going down the bloody canal, try to get into Foxtrot and contest maybe Charlie, because he does have his challenges right now. I mean, eventually... Oh, never mind. There's a STRV 1-2-1 on the map. And if that's placed in a good spot, those Challies are going to have a very hard time bloody dealing with it.
Yeah, the one benefit of the Challies will be that they do have strong frontal armor, and there is a multiple of them, so if he could get into a position where the three of them could kind of, like, tag team it, I think then it would be worth it. But the problem is, like we see here, he's just boxed in. The Bootcamp getting more artillery kills. It is like the... if you're ever wondering, should I bring a Bootcamp into a 1v1, Direktor's proven it. Look at how much value he's gone out for it. I wish we could see the kill list, because I know it's killed at least 4 or 5 artillery pieces already.
Yeah, and just the value of keeping Tortique pinned down in this bloody valley this entire time is immense. Because it's just buying him enough time to bring in reinforcements here and just deal with the dregs of what is alive and these mechanized push to just push on up and get his position. Fighting Falcon down south. Commando's trying to rout out the Fallschirmjägers. Barely survived the bomb strike.
Yeah, he dropped it too far back there with the Fighting Falcon. He did panic one of the squads here. The Kussjägers could move over maybe and save the day. M92's trying to come, but these SAS are in the back line now, and they're looking for that automatic.
Yeah, they're doing a Call of Duty mission here.
They're trying to give him some AT loving.
Even used a lot of their stingers as well.
Yeah, they've short a lot of, like, crappy helicopters. So there we go. He brings off 1 M42. Ooh, a side shot by the Commander 9 of the Carl Gustav in the automatic. This is probably the first big kill I've seen Tortique get so far. But these Kussjäger are all over them. They're going to win that fight. I mean, the Commander's 90 are a pretty good infantry unit. Oh, he moved him out, though. I don't know why he did that.
Oh.
Big micro mistake there by Direktor.
Yeah, and Steyr and Mini-Me going ham on the Kussjägers. I think the SAS can just come up and finish the day. And that's going to at least give Tortique a bit of pressure relief from Bravo. But he needs to make, like you said, something happen. He has a massive force. He needs to eat it somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Kussjägers are going to die. They were going to die no matter what. Them going out and just chilling in the road there for a second was, they went full dumb. But, hey, at the end of the day, he held on to Bravo way longer than anybody would have expected. And now he's still at 278 points, the +1 continuing. And he never even decapped Bravo. It was never his goal.
Just
I'm looking at Bootcamp, gonna get some fire in.
We got the territorial spam coming up into Foxtrot once again. He does have these amount of fire support backing him up at least, so at least the meat shields will have some sort of purpose to their death. But there's still a decent amount of defense. I mean, this 40 mil STRF's gonna do decent damage.
One of the challengers died. The other one here's at 1 HP. Like, this push is going in kind of like half cocked. Like, he had territorials, but really nothing else to support it. You'd really expect those challengers to have been repaired at least. The Vickers isn't going to cut it, and we do know there's Leopard being called out. There is an STRV and STRV 121 and a 10 3D as well. So, I mean, he does have a lot of territorials though, I guess.
Yeah, and also he does have at least a little bit of positional advantage right now as Direktor is pulling back his tank, so it is going to give Tortique a bit of space to try to get a position to Foxtrot. The question is, will Direktor with his tank superiority, the 121 and the 103D is a pretty nasty combo, can he just defend that forest and force another grind in the opposite forest he just originally controlled? Because, well, if there's a mass of Commonwealth troops in there, I think the Bacan's going to be knocking.
Yeah, I agree with you, along with the fact that he's going to know, like, there's pretty much 2 spots the CV will go into Foxtrot, so the Bacan's going to go ahead and knock on that door. Oh, he's ran out of the fob. Wow. Oh. In a 1v1 with 14 minutes left, that Bacan has used it. He has been using it non-stop. You would think they were smart orders, like in SD2 or something.
I know.
Just really impressive artillery play from Direktor. I mean, we never say that in a 1v1, but it's honestly very impressive.
Yeah, it's like legit. Yeah, artillery gun feels like it's won him the match so far. The guy's MVP unit.
I'm surprised the barrel hasn't blown up yet.
Yeah, I think in real life that thing, you can only really shoot it that fast for so long.
Oh, and he found the CD with the XAs.
Wow.
In Bravo, he takes the CV with the +2. Yeah, I don't think it matters what Tortique does, Ring. Even if he gets enough leverage here, contested Charlie, the lead is so massive for Direktor with 13 minutes. You know, how does he stop a +2? Not only how does he stop the +2, I mean, he's got to recap Bravo and, you know, cap Foxtrot, so I'll answer my own question. But how does he get a +2?
Yeah, he's a bit buggered. Unless he can, clear out Foxtrot. I guess the Bacan, which is slowly going to run out of ammo, will give him a bit of leeway, but it's... The Bacan's done its job, even if it doesn't do anything else for the rest of the match. And there's a second SCRV 121 being brought out. And there's not a whole lot of other... There's not really a whole lot of anti-tank here from Tortique to deal with it.
No, and he's lost some of the challengers, which, if he had, like, a 4-stack of the challengers, I would say there's still a chance, right? Like, you know, the raw British armored firepower with the rifled gun, you know, rifled tank cannon gonna make it work. But I really don't see how it happens. The SCRVs, just 2 of them alone, that's gonna be so hard to deal with.
And there's so much crap in between, all the Borka Bulldogs, the STRFs, the infantry spread out. Yeah, it's just gonna bog down Tortique way too much to actually make any of these maneuvers happen.
Yeah, the Beacon going down is a big benefit for Tortique. I think the problem is just that it's a benefit that's occurring way too late in the game.
Yeah. It's just like saying, oh yes, the fastest to run out of ammo after you sent like 2 companies into the attack.
Oh yeah, he's annihilated a whole battalion worth of territorials. You see the commandos there, they get spotted. They're trying to come across over here. The Dragonaires are going to hold the town block, so I really don't think that's going to do anything. Oh, yeah, the STRV and the M41s are both going back to help support them, so... Oh, wow, Direktor even bringing out his F-16A just to... Yeah, that's how you know he feels very much in control.
Yeah, and even the F5 Puff is... I thought he was going to do a strafe and run, but apparently not.
Yeah. He doesn't even need to.
There's a lot of smoke from Tortique. I do like how he's been using it, but he hasn't been able to really get that much effect out of it. Like, he's smoking heavily up north here, like, enough to do a really effective push to at least get the village back in go. He just doesn't have anything to push the village back in go.
I think the problem with the smoke as well is that he's dumped so much of it, but he's never followed close behind it. So it's basically just been like, you know, because when you fire smoke, you're letting your opponent know, hey, I'm going in this direction. And you know, when you utilize this, you know, speed to your advantage, I think that's when smoke is so effective. But if you smoke something up and wait a minute and a half before you go into it, you've given your opponent that much time to react to what you're doing.
Yeah, they're going to be expecting the G's to come through, yeah. And the G's in this case is 2 M103s with some machine guns strapped on top. Yeah,
50 cal and a 30 cal, like straight out of World War II.
Yeah.
Who's that? Is that
they risk they could be a Zelda.
Yeah, they're a Zelda wannabe. And I mean, he has an STRF in the back, there's some RBS, there's a Leopard and STRV 1030, you know, 103D. Like, it's just... Even if he took that portion of the town, Foxtrot is, you know, it's a gray area between the two. Though, to be real, Direktor could totally push Foxtrot if he wanted to. Like, there's nothing in front of him.
Yeah, all the challenger support has been really brought up into Gulf here.
Yeah, he's pulled 2 over there. There's 1 more coming. The Vickers haven't really accomplished anything so far here. I just don't see how this armor makes any big difference here. The attack that he's about to launch has to break open the front so much that it gets him into decapping, a 2-pointer, and the only 2-pointer is Charlie, and he's attacking the 1-pointer over in golf. So, what I mean, just from a strategic standpoint, we've said this a few times. It feels like Tortique just kind of wasn't sure what he wanted to do.
Yeah, it seems like an initial push he made. He really banked a lot on it. And it just it fell apart very quickly.
Very fast, yeah.
Yeah. And it's after, it's like, oh god, the Bacan is blowing me up.
Yeah, the early Bootcamp pick right there was so smart by Direktor, and I think it highlighted something that we don't see a lot against mechanized decks, but bring the big boy out early, because he's going to be hitting with a lot of cheap infantry, and if you can just pin them in place in that first attack, the big boy did all the work. Made it annihilate it. Obviously, the Bootcamp is one of the best artillery pieces in the game with its fast fire rate. But I think even if you had like a Caesar, it'd be a similar situation.
Yeah, any of the high caliber 155s are just going to do a lot of damage, especially if the accuracy, and if you can just pin down that mech into a fight for just a minute or two, the artillery has enough time to come in. And we got the Leopard trying to hold on to the point. I believe he can get like Chieftain or Challenger command tanks as mech, which would probably be a better choice compared to the rather flimsy Leopard.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're correct. You can bring the Chieftain one. I'm not positive though, so I don't want to like.
No. And look, here comes the F-16s. They're ready to fight.
Yeah, the Fighting Falcons jumping here. I'll say this though, when I talk about it, the Rapier is really good. People sleep on the Rapier, but if you bring them in a 2-stack together, yeah, they finally die there, but they killed like 3 or 4 planes.
Yeah, he did a decent job of holding off, even against Puff the Magic Dragon and a little bit of Micro. He just Blapjack boys, he flew right over.
Yeah, I think I say the one thing that, from Tortique, it feels like a lot of bad, right? Because he, got a little bit of a beatdown. But his radar Micro was very good.
Yeah, because those Rapiers were pretty much alive the majority of the match, and they did pretty good. And yeah, we got like like a 700 KD difference. He tried Raven Flag for the Commonwealth, but got smacked back down into, the meta from 8 years ago.
Well, not to support Commonwealth Mech here a little bit, I think that maybe some of his deck choices were a little weird. Like, no offense, obviously he's a much better player than I am, but like looking at it critically here, I don't understand maybe he was just trying some different stuff out, and that's what we saw here in this game. There's not a lot of context, but as we saw last game, the 203s, even with mech, those things can be really nasty if you use them right. Like if you wanted a big boy artillery piece, you also get a version of the Paladin with the Canadians, I think too. So if you wanted one of those, I think it's 80 points. It's not horrible. I mean, I don't bring it, but hey, it's better than that thing he brought.
Yeah, the M108 is complete trash. The 105 deserves its place in World War II.
Yeah, both the Brits, I'm looking real quick, both the Brits and the Canadians get an M109 piece for 80 points you can bring. They also do get the M110s, which we saw to great effect last week. Yes. Just absolutely annihilating. Like, there were artillery pieces, if he wanted to bring some artillery out, that I just don't understand. I think are just way better for his time and for his price.
And the 5th aircraft slot.
Yeah,
like, you can dump like the gunship and some of the other like minor units. You only really need 2 tank cards. You don't really need the Chieftain Mark 2, and just try to fit in that 5th aircraft. Because for most decks, especially in 1v1s, just having, you're not going to buy all the aircraft out, but having the utility of having like a speed aircraft, a bomber aircraft, and fighter aircraft can really allow you, especially against the type of opponent you're up against, just immediately react to situations quickly by just, hey, I need this type of thing dead, here's my weapon package.
Yeah, 100%. Like, what you're talking about, like, when you see, like, there is whether it's the Mirage or the Hornet that you can get for the Anzac, right? You have the F-111C, which we didn't even see brought out, which is basically a nuclear bomber in the game. The Harrier GR7 has paveways. There's good cluster planes. The Typhoon, if you want to bring it, it does have 4 AMRAAMs, 4 sideliners, and 50% ECM. It is a top level fighter. We really didn't see a lot like you talk about the Canadian stuff. Even the Freedom Fighter, like that the Canadians get, It's for like 70 points. It has a pretty decent little payload. There's like a lot of weapons or utility that we just didn't see him use, and I wonder if it's because he doesn't play the deck. He's like, I want to play Commonwealth mech for fun, and you know he ran into the directors like, nah, I'm playing for keeps.
Yeah, just went classic Scandi. Those shock troops are just an absolute pain to deal with. And he, like, Scandi does have very good anti-mech tools, like some of the top, like, automatic SDRV, backhand,
Yeah.
we've all seen it. It's like a very good anti-mech, not mech deck.
Right.
You
No,
can
I
also
agree.
play it mech and also beat mech as mech.
I'll tell you what really hurt him. He didn't bring the chieftain.
I think you have a point there, my man. I think you have a point.
Chief couldn't. Chief could. Chief.
Alright, Chief, relieve it, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right on.
And thank you very much, guys, for watching. And as usual, please just take it easy.